CMR may not go to prison. CMR may not spend any time in prison. He may be found innocent if it goes to trial. He may get acquittal, right? He also may not even go to trial. So I want everybody to be prepared for that. I'm going to let's run down the normal course, right? We're going to go run down the normal course. So he's charged with lewd and lascivious acts, right? Now, say the normal thing go on, right? They go to court. What's going to happen is you need evidence to convict, right? You need evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to convict. That means the evidence is so strong, the jury, right, or the judge find that the evidence is overwhelming and they're going to convict, right? For that to happen in this case, it's gonna take the victim to testify convincingly to the jury or the judge, and or both, for them to say, yes, we believe the evidence you brought forward in form of testimony or any other evidence that is there, right, for them to convict. So just now imagine the stepdaughter testifying against him in open court saying he's done this thing. This will require the mom to be thumbs up, okay with this line, right? With this procedure. So it goes to court, and let's say they find him guilty, right? That's the only way. Or if he confess, which is highly unlikely. If he confessed to these crimes, they don't have to go through the court and testimony and cross-reference and evidence and all these things, right? So that's two of the only ways I could see him being found guilty. The victim testify or him confessing. And for that to happen, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a whole lot. Right? Okay. So now, the jury or the judge could find him not guilty because the evidence is not strong enough. They don't have enough. It's hearsay. It's his words against her word. Right? So the likelihood is diminishing as we think about these things, right? Now, say he's found innocent and all these things did happen. The victim testified, they went to court, and the jury said, nope, innocent, we're going to acquit him. We didn't find that he did anything wrong. What's going to happen then? What is going to happen then? Is he going to go back? Of course, he's going to be allowed by the law to go back to the house, to go back to the same house that he was forbidden to go to, with now the victim being there. How is that going to look? Right? Food for thought. Stick a pin. So let's go to the other way. If the victim decides not to testify, I doubt that they will have a trial. Without the victim and the victim's testimony and evidence, which the testimony, if they don't have video or audio evidence or text or anything like that, right? Because sometimes we have trials and we don't know some of the finer points, right? The stuff that we just don't know. They may be holding on to that, right? So if these things exist, I would say then and only then he may cut a plea deal and say, okay, I'm going to plead no contest or whatever the case is. I cut a plea deal, to not testify because the defense, he and his lawyer think, okay, they have enough evidence and it's going to come out, and to protect, for self-preservation, they may cut a plea bargain. But let's go back now. Let's say that the victim does not want to testify. Unless they have all those objective evidence and don't need the victim to testify, then there is no case and there is no trial. If they do have evidence and they don't need the victim to testify, which they always would need the victim to testify, then it's a small possibility there will be a trial, right? But like I said, the percentages are going down the more we go through this logically, right? So now you don't have the victim testifying, and you don't have any evidence. There is no trial. There is no trial. And for us to get a conviction, it has to be a strong testimony and or with evidence that the jury and the judge, usually they have a jury deciding it, or if they have a jury trial by the judge only, if depending on the jurisdiction, right? The judge alone, but more like it's gonna be jury. But if it's the judge alone or the jury, either or, it has to be strong enough for them to say, you know what, we find you guilty, right? So if you look at the entire thing, my vision on it is that he may not go to prison in all of what we've seen, and but it's the court of law. It's how you have the representation, how the law is set up. You have to, this is going to be sustained, yes, but he may not go to prison. He may not go to prison because now you're going to have, if say they go to trial and the victim testifies and he's found innocent or been acquitted for it, right? The contention between him and the daughter and the wife may not last long, if it's even going to go forward after that. Because now, in many cases, the wife cannot the law cannot force the wife to testify against the husband. So, of course, there's a lot of things, there's different levels, of course, the relationship between the wife and the husband, the obligation of the husband to the kids, of course, the wife is going to be sole custody more than likely if they are not together. So there's a lot of things in it, right? There's a lot of things in it. So I'm just having a suspicion that the daughter may not testify for whatever reason, being convinced by other people, being talked to about what the ramification of the testimony will entail if testimony continues and he is found guilty, prison sentences, all these other things, right? So my feeling is to ease everything without the testimony of the daughter, then there is no trial, right? Because if the daughter testify, then yes, we have a testimony, we have a trial, we have, evidence finding and all these things. And then it comes down to guilty or not guilty. And if it's guilty, then prison. If it's not guilty, then you go back to the house. You're free to do what to do. If the family want him back at the house. So looking at it from a far out point of view, unless other things happen where the wife is saying, no, you know what? This is too much. Because maybe other things happen and we don't know about, obviously, because we are not there. So this may not be the first time something like this happened. All right? This may not be the first time. So the wife may be fed up and done with it, and we just don't know yet. Because the legal system is involved and lawyers are being involved. I'm pretty sure she may have a lawyer right now. That would be the best thing. That would be the smart thing. So my feeling is there is a lawyer on both sides. He has a public defendant, as far as we know. When he went to the bail hearing, the first hearing, and she should have a lawyer, the daughter, or a lawyer from the mom, but the daughter should have a lawyer, right? So this is going to be very interesting. If she decides not to testify, then more than likely no trial. If she decides to testify, then I am suspecting that the wife is on board with it and they understand the ramifications of what's supposed to happen. So I feel like, it is going to come down to the testimony of the daughter and the evidence they have, and maybe even the testimony of the wife. Because if this is not the first time that stuff like this happened, then the wife may want to testify or add evidence to the case. So, but my feeling is, it's gonna if then and if you think about it, if that's the case, then the relationship is over. If the wife is gonna testify or allow the daughter to testify and not believe the husband. You understand what I'm saying? So Either way, I feel like he may not go to prison because she don't testify for whatever reason they come up with. But if they go to trial, then that's a strong indicator that the wife is on board with it. They feel like they must do it because they believe the daughter, meaning the mom, right? And the lawyer and everybody agrees that this is the best course to go, right? So even if he was found innocent with that scenario, then the relationship is over. In my opinion. But back to the first question and the proposition, CMR may not go to prison because the likelihood of him being convicted just based on the testimony of what she said. This is in court now. You could be arrested for anything. You know, accusation is accusation, but now we're in proof mode where you have to bring proof to the court. The proof has to be strong enough without a shadow of a doubt. That is the problem we have. And this is why CMR may not go to prison. They may not go to prison. So if that happened, you should not be surprised. Should not be surprised, not one iota, right? So just be prepared for him being found innocent or not guilty or no trial at all. And I'm thinking no trial at all. Right? The more time go by, people talk to people, you do this to the family and and he has 3 other daughters too. So he has obligations that he has to fulfill and make sure that maintain. You know what I mean? So it may sound weird and you may say, oh, based on my experience and my education because I do have some degrees in criminal justice. The wife and the lawyer and everybody have to be on board for them to go forward for the trial and for him to face justice. And if that's not the case, he's not going to be going to prison. All right. So everybody take it easy. Stay tuned for more. All right. DJ Shaba, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like, drop a comment. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think about what I said? Check y'all out later.